Good day to everyone, wherever and whatever time you are listening to us. First of all, thank you very much for joining us. And this is basically our first session for SBM Strategic Business Management, basically. And this session is particularly for July 2022 exams. All of the lectures, either they are basic or they are advanced level, all of those sessions, all of those lectures would be recorded and recording would be shared with you people after the end of the session. As I advised you earlier, like if you have to study any qualification, certification, then what you have to do, you have to use your latest study material. You have to use your latest syllabus basically, because few people have no idea what were changes in previous years basically. So what we do, again, always I prefer the latest syllabus, latest notes, latest syllabus, notes, study material, and please do not compromise on these areas basically. So this is basically our syllabus for July 2022 exams basically. That will be our next attempt. And we are going to discuss strategic business management. Strategic business management is normally, in short word, it is known as SBM or strategic business management. In our orientation, we have discussed in detail what is the syllabus of strategic business management, what is paper pattern, what is our syllabus, what is our paper pattern, like how many questions would be in SBM exam, how much time is given to us in our SBM. All of these questions have been discussed in our orientation basically. So these points have been discussed in our orientation. So if anyone who has missed out, a copy of orientation would be shared with you. Just send us an email or a message. But we will discuss in detail what is the syllabus, what is the component of our SBM. Basically, again, what skills do you need to pass your SBM exam? What is the syllabus? What is assurance? What is business analysis? What is ethics? We will discuss each and every area. We will cover all of these components basically. Either they are technical components or they are skill-based components. Because at this advanced level, you need knowledge, first of all, but your knowledge should be divided in two areas. It should be about basics and it should be about your technical knowledge, or you can say that is your advanced level knowledge, basically, advanced level concept. Your basics should be strong, because at this point, people think it is about the advanced level. So examiner will test only the technical areas or advanced level concept. No, you have to cover your basics as well. So basics as well as technical or advanced level concept. First of all, your knowledge is very important. Secondly, apart from knowledge, your skills are very, very important to pass your advanced level exam basically. So what are those skills? How many types of those skills are there basically, particularly in your advanced level ICAEW? So we will discuss one by one all of those areas basically. As this is our first session, so we will talk about the topics particularly relevant to our strategy and finance area. And then in next session, we will talk about the skills. We will also talk about the strategy, that what we are going to use for our SBM preparation basically. Because most of you would be either some sort of training agreement or would be having some sort of job. So what you need to do, how you can cover up. Obviously, we will cover each and every component, either it is basic or advanced level, but there should be smart work along with your hard work as well. So we will cover all of these points, how we will cover your past paper, your syllabus, your notes, your question bank. We will discuss our complete strategy. Again, these are just components, what you need to qualify as an ACA, 15 exams and so on. And here we have SBM, that is a second exam of your advanced level, basically. Strategic business management. And then lastly, you have case study. And after case study, if you have meet out all of the requirements, if you have passed out all of the exam, then you could be recognized as an ACA member. Again, just have an overview if any one of you who has missed out. In SBM, we will discuss these areas basically. First of all, we will be talking about business strategy and management, approximately 30 to 40%. 30 to 40% would be for business strategy and management basically. So you can see strategy and management. Normally people think strategy and management is the same thing. No. Strategy and management, obviously strategy is being formulated by management. But apart from strategy formulation, management has a lot of other functions. Basically. So what are those functions of management? Then we will talk about financial strategy, financial structure and financial reconstruction, financial instruments and financial market. Yes, again, a very, very important and technical area here as well. 25 to 35% of this financial portion. That is your finance portion basically. I will take a pause at this point and will explain. Because if you are from another qualification, either you are from ACC or you are directly being involved directly from ICAEW, then a lot of students, a lot of people think and they mention that this is a very technical area. If you have not studied the finance element earlier on, then you will be facing the problem. No, you will not be facing the problem. We will try our best because we will start from our basics. Let's say in finance, we have a first chapter that is basically about investment appraisal. So we will start from the investment appraisal. Like we have some investment appraisal basic techniques, like it is payback period, it is IRR, it is NPV, it is ROCE. So these are some of the basic techniques. We will discuss these basic techniques in our class. We will be having some of the examples of those basic techniques in our class here as well. But apart from these basic techniques, we will also cover some of the advanced techniques here as well. What are those advanced techniques? Advanced techniques include discounted payback period, foreign NPV. If you have investment, if you are going to consider any investment in a foreign country project, then what is foreign NPV basically? What is risk management? What is your terminal value basically? And many other advanced level concepts, advanced level techniques will be discussed. So along with basics like ROCE, payback, IRR, NPV, we will also cover the advanced level concept here as well. So you should not be worried. In the same way, we will also cover the basics of financial instruments, and then slowly we will move on. With the passage of time, we will move on to advanced level concepts, basically like financial instruments, financial market, what type of transactions do we have in financial market, what is the influence of a finance manager basically, how you can go for the hedging, how you can go for cash flow hedge, how you can go for different options, swaps, derivatives, and so on. That will be an interesting area. So you should not be worried. Either you have studied the finance or you have not studied. We will try to ensure that we cover each and everything. And with our team effort, apart from tutor side and student side, hopefully that will be a good contribution. Then we have corporate reporting, we have assurance, and we have ethics. You can see all of these three areas approximately, you can say 35 to 40%. As you can see, 35 to 40% syllabus is from corporate reporting side. Same corporate report, same assurance, same ethic, that is from your corporate reporting side. So if you have time and if you can manage, particularly what we advise for July exam, you should study both of these exams. Why? Because if you are studying the corporate reporting, then these elements would be covered in your corporate reporting. So it means if you are studying the corporate reporting, approximately 35 to 40% of your syllabus is also being covered in your other exam. So that is something beneficial, particularly if you have passed any of the exam or if you are appearing in July, then it is a good amount of time that you should invest in your both subjects basically. Rest is entirely your own decision. Now let's move on and let's discuss about what are the syllabus components. Before we start, just have an overview. We have already discussed in our corporate reporting, but if any one of you who is not appearing in corporate reporting, let me just give you the idea. What are these levels basically? In ICAEW syllabus is divided into 4 different levels. You can see level D, level C, level B, and level A. Normally people start from level A, but we start from level D. Level D is just basically the awareness level, awareness of scope of particular subject. Standard mean particular area. It does not mean your IS or IFRS. It means standard mean particular topic. Any particular topic, you just need the awareness level. You should not go into detailed discussion, complex calculation, disclosure, measurement, recognition, derecognition. No. You just need the awareness. What is that? How it is that? And simply so. Level C, a general knowledge with a basic understanding. Yes, you need a little bit more understanding as compared to level D, that is called your level C basically. But at this level, examiner expect you should be able to identify significant issues, not minor issues, but only significant issues basically. Level B, a working knowledge. You can see the difference, general knowledge, working knowledge. Obviously, general knowledge is basically about some sort of general understanding, but a working knowledge means a good amount of knowledge. For example, if you are working in a firm or in an industry, then definitely you will be having an idea. What do you mean by a working knowledge? It means a good amount of knowledge basically. And a level of experience in application. Now, when we use this word, a level of experience in application, then normally students think you should be working in a finance, then you will be able to apply to it. No. At this advanced level, either you are studying the corporate reporting or you are studying the SBM exam. Even in some cases in case study, but most of the time in corporate reporting and SBM exam, when our exam is being planned, when our exam is being set by examiner, then examiner does not expect us that any such type of exam would be considered, would be made, that will help anyone who is working somewhere. It means even if you are not working in somewhere, then definitely you will be at the same level. It does not mean if you will be having a very good amount of experience, then you can pass this exam, otherwise it will be difficult. No, it just mean at this level, level B, you should be having a good understanding, a working knowledge that you can apply, that you can go for application in your real life. That is called as level B. Again, the statement that I just gave you, that is clearly being mentioned by ICAEW examiners in their different reports basically. Level A, a thorough knowledge, a comprehensive amount of knowledge with a very solid understanding. You can see basic understanding, broad understanding, as very solid understanding basically. Obviously, again, the experience that I just explained to you, what is that mean? So 4 levels: level D, level C, level B, and level A, basically. So these are 4 different levels, and you should prepare, you should go with your preparation according to these 4 different levels, basically. If any one of you, if you think any topic is at level C or level D, you should not spend too much amount of time. You should consider what is the complexity level, how this particular topic will be tested to you in your real exam. Because a good candidate considers what is the syllabus, how this topic is going to be considered, how this topic, this particular point is going to be discussed with me in my real exam, basically. And then you should prepare for that. Obviously, we will discuss some other techniques in our live session, in other session, what you should do, how you should use your syllabus, what you should do, how you should cover, and so on. This is basically assurance and audit. We will not discuss at this point. We will start from our business analysis portion, basically. So let's start with our business analysis portion in this section. As we can see, there are multiple columns, there are multiple areas. First of all, we have certificate and professional level. That is not part of discussion in this discussion. That will be discussed later on. But just to have an overview, in certificate and professional level, we have some exams like management information, that is a part of certificate level. Business technology and finance, that is a part of certificate level. In professional level, we have financial management, and we also have business strategy and technology, basically. First 2 exams are of certificate level, then other 2 exams belong with your professional level, basically. So what is the meaning? It means the examiner is just telling you that these topics have already been covered in your certificate and professional level. But as I mentioned you earlier, we will also cover these topics in our advanced level, basically. So if either you have studied in your certificate or professional level, or you have studied in your any other qualification like ACCA or any other qualification, then it doesn't matter either you have studied or not. We will cover them in our advanced level points, basically. What does that arrow mean? That arrow mean, it means at the same level, that is the A level, basically. That arrow mean that is a level A. So I was just telling you, and then we will move on. First of all, we will be having the strategic analysis at top level management. For example, you are the CEO, you are the CFO, you are the chairman, you are the director, you are sitting in board of directors, basically. That is your strategic level. So you should go with your strategic level analysis. What is your strategic analysis, basically? What is your top level analysis? So you should analyze your environment. You should analyze your market. What is your environment? What is your market? What different tools? What are different models? What are different mediums that can be used to analyze your environment, basically? I hope most of you will be familiar. Just we will be having a go through. Pastoral analysis, yes, political, economic, social, technological, environmental, legal. What is the pastoral model? So it just doesn't mean like you should be able to what are different points, but you should relate with different points, basically. First of all, let me finish this point, and then I will give you an example how you can apply these different models and different techniques. Then we have Porter 5 forces. Yes, again, that is also a technique to know about the competition, to know about the market, different types of power, for example, bargaining power of supplier, bargaining power of customer, different competition, different threats, new persons, new entities. What is that? We have product life cycle. Yes. If we are talking, if we are considering a product, then what will be its life cycle? For example, what will be its life cycle? There could be different life cycle, basically. Normally we talk about like it's an introduction, it's a growth, it's a maturity, it's a decline. No, it's an introduction, that is fine. But before introduction, there would be some sort of phase. There would be some sort of development phase. Why you are ignoring that development phase? Obviously, first of all, your product would be developed, and then it would be introduced into your market. If it is not being developed, if it is not being considered by your management, then how it could be introduced? So you should also study what is the phase before your introduction phase, what mechanism, what processes are being taken place in your development phase. And then after development phase, we introduce, if we think if it is feasible, if it is viable, if it could be profitable, if it could be a star product or service, then we can go for that. We can introduce, it will be growth, maturity, decline, and then we can consider either at this decline stage or what we have to do, either we have to invest further or we should not invest. Again, these are all models, different models we will study later. Then we have BCG group, BCG model. It ranks different types of product, either your products are star product, cash cow, dog, or any other basically. Then we have prices and markets. Yes. What are different prices? What are different pricing strategies? Different pricing strategies, basically. For example, we will just talk about two different pricing strategies. Let's say it is market penetration. We will talk about market scheming strategy. What is market penetration? What is market scheming? Where we use market penetration? Where we use market scheming, basically. What do you know? What do you think about Apple? Either Apple uses the market penetration or market scheming. What do you think about Apple products? How they are being ranked? At which phase they are being ranked? What is the life cycle of different companies' product, basically? We have also a lot of other prices, like we have cost plus pricing. We have cost plus pricing. We have ABC pricing. According to ABC, if we allocate overheads, then what would be the price? We have bundle price. We have transfer price. We have a lot of types of pricing. So what do you think, in which environment, which pricing strategy is favorable? What we have to use? It's quite possible. We might use mixture of different pricing strategies, basically. Then we will talk about competitor analysis. Yes, we should not consider our company, but we should consider our competitors, what others are doing in our same industry and same company, basically. That is your competitor analysis. Because it is normally said, kill your competitor before he kills you. So you have to be very, very careful about your business, what others are doing on, what others are moving on, and how you have to proceed it further, basically. Then we have second section. In first section, we will analyzing our environment. We were talking about market analysis, but you should also consider what is your own position. What is your internal areas? What do you think? What are your points? What is your strong area? What is your weak area? What are your opportunities? What are your threats, basically? Because it also matters a lot. And that will be discussed in our SWOT analysis. We will talk about our value chain analysis. What is value chain? You see the word chain, but the word is added value chain. It means how you can add value, how you can add value into your chain, basically. Let's say if there is a chain, then how you can add value into this chain, basically. What are different strategies, different mechanisms, different steps that you should take to add value into this value chain, basically. Then we have resource audit, we have resource-based strategy. Yes, you should consider your resources, and then you should apply your relevant resources to formulate a very good strategy to go for a competitive strategy. And for that, you should also go for your resource audit, basically. Then we will talk about gap analysis. Yes, what is gap? Let's say that is your desired position, and that is your current position. So the difference between desired and current, that is called as gap. What is gap analysis? How we perform the gap analysis? What is the reason to perform the gap analysis? What are the benefits of performing the gap analysis? Basically, all of these questions are very, very important. Marketing analysis, yes. Competitive advantage, yes. You will hear this word again and again. What is competitive advantage? It means what you are doing better as compared to your competitor. That is called competitive advantage. Competitor means this word is derived from your competitor. Again, advantage. Advantage means something that is in favor of us. Why we have advantage over our competitor? Why? What do you think? It could be, if I give you some example, it could be price. Let's say you are charging a lower price as compared to competitor. Let's say your quality is superior as compared to your competitor. That could be your competitive advantage. So do you think, is there any other point or points apart from price and quality that can give you the competitive advantage? So please think about all of these areas, because at this level, examiner expect that we apply a good amount of knowledge. Again, the same point we will discuss in our detailed session. Then we have benchmarking. What is the benchmarking? What are the benefits? What are the drawbacks of benchmarking? How this benchmarking is used? What our industry is going on? What our competitors are going forward? We will talk about directional policy metrics, business process analysis, strategic risk analysis. Yes, what do you think? What are your risks at your strategic level? Again, risks could be at different levels. It could be your strategic level, it could be your operational level, it could be your any other level, basically. So different types, different levels, different types of risk. Then we will talk about balanced scorecard. What is balanced scorecard? Why it is named as balanced scorecard? Because it considers both financial and non-financial perspectives of your performance, basically. What are financial perspective and what are non-financial perspective, basically. Then we have next part, next component, that is basically about your strategic choice. What is choice? Earlier you were going for analysis, then you have choice. First of all, you have analysis, then you have choice. Because first of all, you will analyze, let's say there are 10 points, then you will be having the choices. What you have to choose. Let's say here we have 3 choices. Then after the choices, it will be the implementation phase. That will be our next point. Because you have to implement, you have to consider in your choices, within your choices, basically. Strategic choice, that is strategy formulation, evaluation, and choice. Yes, how your strategy is formulated, how it is evaluated, basically. What is business risk management? What is financial analysis and data analysis? Again, all of your topics are very important, but this is a very, very important. Why? Because these type of analysis are regularly being performed in our day-to-day life, basically. What is financial analysis? Normally, people think when we use the word financial analysis, then people think financial analysis just simply means ratios. No. It involves ratio, but it doesn't mean that financial analysis is only being limited to ratios. No, it is not being confined to ratios. It includes ratios, but what you need to do, you should compare your ratios. You should be able to understand the assumptions of your financial statement, your financial analysis. What are your assumptions? What about your data? You should consider your non-financial points, basically, non-financial measures along with your financial analysis. Because financial analysis and data analysis means you have to analyze your data. Either your data size is small, it is large, it is medium, how your data is being formulated, who is the preparer of data, how data is being prepared, what was the purpose of data, how much time the preparer took to prepare that data. there are a lot of questions about data analysis. As we know that there are a lot of software, there are a lot of points that go for the data analysis. But as a chartered accountant, we have to analyze what are the different trends, what we assess about performance of an organization. Then we have stakeholder analysis, we have objectives and stakeholder preferences. Yes, we have different types of stakeholder. We have supplier, we have customer, we have employees, we have shareholder, we have bank, we have regulatory authorities, and thousands of shareholders, thousands of stakeholders. So how we can consider what we have to talk about, how we can consider different stakeholder. It is quite possible there could be a conflict of interest. So how we have to manage that conflict of interest basically? Do you think is there any model to study the stakeholder? Yes, there are a lot of models to study the different stakeholder, to manage different stakeholders basically. We will discuss those models. Then we have corporate responsibility. It is also called as CSR, corporate social responsibility. We have sustainability. What is sustainability? What is climate change? Yes, we know that due to global warming, that due to unfavorable condition, our environment is going through a lot of changes. So what is sustainability? Do you think is there any relationship between a chartered accountant and sustainability and climate change? Yes. What is sustainability? If we talk about in simple terms, then sustainability means meeting the needs of present without compromising on future. That is called as sustainability. Sustain, you have to sustain. You have to maintain. Let's say if you are using your resources, then you should not completely use your resource. You should left out something. You should talk about something other resources. For example, just take a very simple example. In resources, particularly if you just talk about energy resources, just as an example, then we have renewable energy resources, then we have non-renewable energy resources. So what do you think? What we should prefer? Renewable resources or non-renewable resources? You should consider. Renewable. What is the difference between renewable and non-renewable? If you will use non-renewable resources, again, at some point of time, all of your resources would be consumed, then what you will do? But if you will use your renewable resources, it means that resources will be consumed, but later on that will be recycled. That will not be completely exhausted. That is your renewable resources. So if you are a chartered accountant, let's say if you are considering an investment, any opportunity, any business, then you should try to use that resources. You should advise your board, your company, your management that they should consider using the renewable resource. It means directly or indirectly, you are playing a very, very important role towards your society, towards your environment. It means you are sustaining something that is called as corporate social responsibility. That is your sustainability. You are considering your environment. That's a simple explanation of this point, basically. Again, detailed discussion will be later on. Strategic implementation, yes, after choices, we need to finalize one opportunity or many opportunities depending upon project, depending upon many other factors. But now it's time for implementation. We have to practically implement something. Then obviously we will be having a business plan. Yes. So what is business plan? What are different components of business plan basically? Normally people think there are mainly financial components. No. Apart from financial components, you should also consider non-financial components here as well. Like either this project is viable, either it is feasible, practically possible, it is feasible, and many other points. Environment friendly, sustainable, and so on. Basically. Then we have organizational structure, information management, we have change management, we have project management. Then we will be having the business management, like performance management, strategic marketing, and brand management, basically. like how you have to go for your marketing side, how you can develop your own brand. Then we have corporate governance. Yes, what is corporate governance? The rules and regulations to manage your company, to run the affairs of your organization. We have information strategy, we have human resource management. Yes, how we have to manage our own resources. All of these points are important, but you should learn how we can implement those points basically. Then our next section is basically about costs, costing. Again, that the basic, like what we have studied some time ago. Again, in costing, we talk about the cost classification, different costing systems, activity-based costing, break-even analysis, budgeting, performance measurement. We will discuss those basics, and we will be having separate session, separate lectures for those basics along with different examples. Then we have pricing. As we were just talking about different types of price, different pricing decision, transfer pricing, decision-making techniques, sensitivity analysis, and so on. The sensitivity analysis would be considered in our finance area, finance syllabus as well, basically. So that is basically a part of financial topic. Then we have next section that is basically related with our finance. Earlier we were talking about strategy, that is a major component. Finance is also a second major component of our SBM exam basically. In finance, first of all, obviously they have given their own sequence, but we will start from our own sequence basically. Business and shareholder value, yes, the prime objective of a good profitable organization is to create value for their shareholders basically, to increase the value of their investment. Yes, what are different valuation techniques? We will talk about income model, like dividend yield model, price to earning model, discounted cash flows. Again, discounted cash flow is basically a technique of investment appraisal. So in finance section, first of all, we will be discussing the finance basics, and then we will start our finance section with investment appraisal. Why? Because we will be talking here in investment appraisal, what are different models, different techniques like ROCE, cash flow, payback period, discounted cash flow, MIRR, IRR, and so on. Then it will be easy to move on to these different and complex areas. Let me tell you one thing, that this business valuation is one of the most important area of your SPM exam, because strategic business management, let's say if you have to value the shares of your shareholder, if you have to value your business, then how you can value that? What are different techniques? So that is a very important area. Asset-based measures, earlier income-based measure, then asset-based measure, option approaches, shareholder value. Yes, we will discuss VBM, value-based analysis, value drivers, SVA, shareholder value analysis. What are different terminal values, economic profit, cash flow techniques, and so on, basically. So again, all of these values, all of these techniques are for our financial side, how we can value shares and how we can value different businesses, basically. Then we have investment appraisal and risk analysis, basically. Yes, NPV, IRR, payback period, relevant cash flow, taxation, replacement analysis, capital rationing. All of them are basic of investment appraisal. As I told you earlier, we first of all, we will be having our session on basics, and then we will move on to advanced points like adjusted present value. Then we will talk about our next section, next area, like sensitivity analysis, project appraisal, simulation, expected values, gap analysis, and so on. So this will be our discussion. This will be our part for our financial side. Second portion, that is investment appraisal. Then we have next point, that is cost of capital. Yes, what is cost of capital? What are different components? What is cost of equity? What is cost of debt? Again, what is cost of equity? What is cost of debt, basically? What about preference shares? Yes, what is the formula of that? Why we consider the preference shares, basically? Then what are bank loans? What is WACC, weighted average cost of capital? We will compare WACC with our CAPM, capital asset pricing model. What are differences or similarities between WACC and CAPM basically? What is effective interest rate? How these effective interest rates are part of our cost of capital discussion. Then we will talk about different types of theories, like we have portfolio theory, we have CAPM, we have APT, we have international cost of capital. Then we have another area that is about bonds and fixed interest securities. Yes. What about bond pricing? How we can calculate the values of bond according to NPV? What is yield to maturity? What are price differences, price changes? What are interest rates? What are different points basically? And then we will talk about the sources of finance. Again, a very important component, because if you have a business, then how you can manage different types of sources basically. How your funds, how your finance is going to become from. These could be short-term, medium-term, and long-term sources basically. What is green finance? What are loan agreements, loan covenants basically? How you can raise your capital? How you can raise your money? It could be equity, it could be loan, or it could be another area. It could be gearing, it could be loan covenants, it could be dividend policy, it could be financing reconstruction. What are different methods that can be used in our financing reconstruction basically? What is purchase? What is sale? What are distributable profits? Then we have a small area that is basically treasury and working capital. Yes, what are working capital policies? Either you have a moderate policy, you have an aggressive policy, you have a conservative policy. What type of policies do you have? Then we have financing for small companies. Then we having a brief overview about history of finance, like how finance is going on from a long period of time. Then we have finance engineering. We have future option swaps. We have foreign exchange. We have optional value. So these components, these areas are normally defined as financial instruments, basically. So we will study these financial instruments in our corporate reporting. That will be the perspective of reporting side, but we will also study in SPM. That will be the perspective of our business side here as well, basically. Business means like valuation side. Different types of technique. So some of the portion will be related with our corporate reporting, but there will be some differences. So we will also study those differences in our SBM exam basically. So that is basically a part of our finance engineering. So what we have done, we have studied these two components, these two major components. First of all, strategy side, and then we talk about our finance side basically. The reporting section, the audit section is same as in CR basically. The ethics are same. Ethics are basically about the different values: integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, professional behavior, professional competence, and due care. Apart from these values, you should also consider different types of threats: self-interest threat, self-review, advocacy threat, intimidation threat, management threats, and so on. Conflict of interest could be another area. So as we will be moving on, we will be considering all of those points basically. So in this session, what we have covered, we have talked about what topics are included in your strategy and in finance. So you should not be worried, because they little bit relatively large syllabus, little bit longer syllabus as compared to corporate reporting, but SBM exam is relatively easy to pass. Why? You can see there is a lot of discussion. So if you know the concept, if you know the technique, how you have to write your answer, then that could be a very, very important area. We will be covering all of these basics and all of our advanced level point. We will be sharing some techniques, how you have to cover your syllabus basically, what you have to study, how much time you should devote on a particular topic basically. Just to give you some sort of example, so these are some notes, just an extract from our working capital. Like we have one topic of global treasury management. So what are the issues affecting global treasury management? Cash flow issues, legal issues, political, taxation issues, basically. Then we have structure of treasury operations, basically. Yes, what is your structure of treasury operation? What is pooling? What is netting? Multi-currency accounts? What are other arrangements, basically? So there will be complete notes for your SBM. There will be notes for your corporate reporting. You should not be worried. As you can see, the whole chapter has been combined into some slides, basically. So if you cover those slides and if you cover other components, other techniques that we will discuss, then we are quite hopeful you will pass out your exam, basically. We are just having the last point and then we will close our session for today. We have two types of sessions, basically. First of all, these are like a regular or normal session. And then we have started another component, another session from this time, that is a pass assurance, basically. What is the regular session? Again, most of the session would be same for regular and pass assurance, but normally people want to know about pass assurance. What is pass assurance? Pass assurance means we are going to offer you offering assurance, offering you a guarantee that you will pass out your exam. But this assurance has some terms and conditions. So if you will meet out those terms and conditions, then we are quite hopeful you will pass out your exam. But if someone is studying under pass assurance and does not qualify his or her exam, then in next attempt, that candidate will be offered a completely free of cost solution. It means not a single penny will be charged to that candidate. Basically, that is called as pass assurance. But as I told you earlier, for this pass assurance, we have some terms and conditions. So the candidates that will be interested in pass assurance, they can contact us and then we can further talk about what are those terms and conditions for those pass assurance. But we have some regular sessions, so people might think that what is the difference? So in regular session, either it is a regular session or pass assurance session, whole syllabus would be completed, the practice element would be same, but in pass assurance element, there will be some on-demand session. On-demand session, there could be some one-to-one session. One-to-one session. There will be more feedback. There will be a feedback in regular session, but in pass assurance, there will be more strictness on a particular candidate to pass out their exam, basically. So it's entirely up to you, either you study on regular session or pass assurance session. You should not be worried, either pass assurance, we will study more. No, we will be having same session, but in pass assurance, there will be some additional session there as well, because the candidates who will study according to pass assurance, they will pay a little bit more amount as compared to regular session as well. So that was for our today's session. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. In today's session, we talk about what is included in our strategy and finance area. In our next session, we will be talking about more those topics. We will be talking about our strategy. We will be talking about our approach. Relevant study material and notes would be shared with relevant candidates. And we will also discuss how we have to start our preparation, basically. And study material, relevant notes would be shared with students who have registered with us, basically. Again, thank you very much. We will see you in the next session. If there is any question, please let me know. I will be happy to assist with your questions, basically. Thank you.